It's harder to hear you when I'm here. It's like the channel's been changed. The board's in charge here. They're pyramids in the bureau seal. Are they really the ones pulling the strings? I'm not their director. I'm no one's director. There you are. You were gone. Cut off. I got it. Just like you wanted, right? This will help me fight the hiss.
Emily said that the hotline can be reached through the mailroom. Maybe there's a key nearby.
I just wanted to see what would happen if I charged in there to try to get the object and run back out. So it really isn't a good idea to run in and grab the object and get back out. Unless you know for sure the spacing between where the object is and where you can run out, you have enough time. If it looks like it's too long, it's not a good idea. So let's fast travel to where we were before. Wait, we can't fast travel to dead layers? They unlocked it, but we can't fast travel there? That's weird. What's the point of fast travel if I can't fast travel there? I just unlocked it. Okay, fine. We'll do it the manual way. What the hell? Whoa. That was a missile. Too high, too high. Whoa. It really got missiles. What the hell was that all about? What's so many of those assholes that just showed up out of nowhere? Makes no sense. That was a little intense. What the hell? They showed up out of nowhere. It was like a whole army of them. Wait, they really don't want me to get back to dead letters? It's very strange. Let's see. Alright, going back to dead letters. Killed everyone in dead letters, pretty much. Got everything in here. Got all the research documents, plus the game spawned in new research documents. But I was 100% certain that I unlocked this waypoint. I'm at dead letters. I should have been able to go back and forth here. And then I proceed downward because I wanted to experiment and see what happens when I went into that room. I went to communications, went up the stairs in communications. No, I went this way first to go check the bathroom. Only reason I died is because I went to check out certain things. Killed the douchebags in there. To what's that? The thematics? Okay. Went past here. I already went into the thematics. I think I got everything in the thematics. Checked everything in the room in the thematics. Maybe there's some secrets. Something. Missing something. No, I don't think there is. Nothing upstairs. I did a thorough check of upstairs. No. Yeah. I've already been here, so there's no reason for me to be here again. There's no secrets anywhere here. Okay, so there is fall damage. When you fall to a certain distance, you do take damage. But I know she fell from a height before. She didn't take any fall damage. I think I went in here. Yeah, I went in here. Then I went to this blockade.
Emily said that the hotline can be reached through the mailroom.
Got all the documents in there. Got all the stuff in here. I wonder if the enemies are going to respawn back in here. Probably not. Already killed them. Doesn't seem the type of game to respawn enemies after you kill them. Okay, so basically this took me up here. Coming back down past the cafeteria, and I have to get to the central room. I gotta make sure I pick up all my documents.
Locked. Maybe there's a key nearby.
listening to America Overnight, mystifying the airwaves for more than 29 years. You're listening to America Overnight.
Okay, so this may not seem like nothing, but I think these book club stories have something to do with the main story. I could be wrong, but based on what I'm reading, gravitational anomaly, um, the protagonist of her favorite character got killed not even halfway through the story by getting a battery cylinder launched into his face. Now, there's a lot of battery-looking cylinders around here, and gravitational anomalies around here. And fixtures around here. I'm pretty sure the word convert the entire population using brainworms has nothing to do with what's going on, but convert probably has something. That word has something to do with what's going on, and um, I don't know. I think that's about it. Everything seems to be just gibberish, part of a no nonsense story. Penny is probably not even important. Um, maybe we'll meet her later on, but we'll see. So far, majority of everything I picked up wasn't that important. The clearance thing was important. I needed a clearance level 1. I ran into two different type of enemy snipers. Actually, 3 different type of enemy snipers, rapid fire machine gunners and launchers. Waste management people. I guess when they get corrupted, still use that and stuff. I'm gonna go for a rapid fire on my guns and cooldown effect, more energy. So it takes faster reload time, faster energy to reload. Yeah, but this not much of this makes sense in this story right here. Except for leading towards the last paragraph and some of the first, mostly towards the last paragraph, stating that maybe our character, Jesse, might die towards the end. Not even towards the end, circumstance might kill her towards the end. And gravitational anomaly will probably be part of it, or a battery cylinder might be part of it. But, or maybe this is just part of this story. And a nice little way to knock you off course, assuming that this has some relevance when it probably doesn't whatsoever. Or it could actually have relevance, because most of everything in this game so far has to do with gravity, otherworldly stuff, supernatural, and it's weird how their book has to do with the supernatural as well. You would think in this bureau they deal with it 24 hours every day, they would pick something different, but no, they decided to pick sci-fi of all things, relating exactly what they do for a living. I would probably pick books about dogs running all day, or at least an adventure story that has to do with more, not magic, anything related to what's going on here, but something a little bit different, maybe a cooking book or something. Who knows? But this has some relevance, I believe, to the story, and the clearance I got was relevant towards the story. And well, I missed something. Okay. Oh, I missed 3 things. All the dead letter stuff. Okay, I'm being contacted by the past presidents. Oh, this is the nonsense. Okay, so dead letters are basically part of the division that we have here in the old house, a separate department that deal with a lot of false leads. I think I've seen that before. One of the letters. It was the very first dead letter. I think it wasn't the God Machine God. I think it might have been the Singing Fish, or not even. I think it might have to do with something with not shift complaints, in the reservations, but probably one of the officials visit, unstable area. What's an unstable area? It's a trench. Wasn't this prohibited items? Lockdown distinction. Wasn't this either? I think it might have something to do with this, but you know, it wasn't this. I knew what it was. It was something within the official files. It wasn't a non-official situation. It wasn't a terminology. It wasn't an executive meeting. It wasn't probably was this one. Yeah, it was this one. So we checked a suspected AWE in Duluth. Is that how you say that? Yeah, Duluth. Wasn't anything just like the house before that. So this guy's complaining that they've been traveling around to find out about AWE. So this files under their official duties. And then things that aren't, once they find out that it's a bus, the report goes back here and it's filed under dead letters. So once they go to the location and find out it's just a bunch of bull and malarkey, it goes into the dead letter section, division part under the old house. An area that people just take all the documentations and put it here, and dead letters that it doesn't lead to anything. It's just superstition of people who really don't know what the hell they're talking about. But some of it does make sense and is relevant. So that's why they're considered dead letters, but they're not completely thrown out because they might have certain connections, but aren't exactly official leads or concrete leads. They're more like very, very loose leads, but they do have certain factors that could possibly lead them to other things. That's why they still keep the dead letters. Um, Theodore Roosevelt, yeah, this guy's crazy. And this guy is crazy as well. I had a dream. I built the thing I saw in my dream. Machine God. Yeah, he's he's probably also walks crazy. And because this one's talking about seeing dead presidents and want to have them to do something, the division to do something about it, the bureau. And this guy is talking about Machine God that he built from wheels from skateboards and refrigerators and coils and stuff, toasters. And he would have sent called us, but he used his phone to help some God. And then this one was talking about seeing fish. He bought a fish, but it keeps saying devilish words and flies around. So if some of the letters are related to each other, sound like they're somewhat related to each other, it's possible there's a connection there. But fish singing words, that could be like sound like hiss, making funny sounds. He could just be bolster walls crazy. But a fish that's I mean it's not like a fish. It's like we're talking automaton fish that's stuck on the wall. But based on what I've learned so far about the game, they only transmit through kind of like analog type communication devices, radios, rather than smartphones type stuff. So yeah, that would make sense for this, and that's why they want to investigate this guy. But it could be many why they fall on dead letters. It could just be people who are just high as balls. Well, who knows? This unknown high. As soon as I jumped over here, it says find hidden location. So I guess enemies can't hit you while you're at certain locations like this, and they won't be able to see you. But I'm pretty sure if I were right in here, these guys would have saw me. So why that's considered a hidden location, I don't know yet. It's not like it's actually a collectible or something, or I found something new. Why I would say that. But I'm getting closer to the next objective point, and once I get there, I'll probably stop the stream right at the next yellow marker.
They can fly now. I have a feeling he'll be back. Let's stay focused. The hotline should be past the mailroom.
Alright, I'm gonna end the stream right now. This is where I'm gonna save it. I'm a fast travel here. I'm fast travel to this woman and ask her some questions. But before I even ask her questions, I'm just gonna leave it here. Since this has an automatic save, it should save after I beat that mini boss. that wasn't that much of a mini boss once you understand his that he can't follow you around. He expects you to come out and expose yourself like a dumbass. He'll attack you thereafter instead of he could have followed you around and try to kill you. So I would say that that mini boss fight wasn't that bad. Hopefully the other bosses aren't the same. And from what I could get from combat so far, the combat in the game is good. The enemy AI is pretty good. They'll charge at you to hide behind walls. Um, they'll reload and make sure they um, position themselves in the proper area so that they get you. And most of the times they will charge at you, but many times I see them hiding and then they shoot, or they have launchers or different type of enemies with them to assist them. That mini boss was probably like the least favorite of the AI, because even though he's strong, his intelligence isn't that great either. He didn't follow you around like the other AI do. He just stick to a certain position and wait for you to come out. So as far as combat goes, I'll give the game a full point for combat, not just for melee, which I probably gave it for melee and all this stuff before. But in fact, I'll take that back. I give that a full 5 points for the AI intelligence of the game. 5. I won't give it a full point for the AI because that boss wasn't that good. But as for ducking behind things, aiming, charging you, flanking you, yeah, that's pretty good. I wouldn't say, actually it's not even a 0.5, more like a 0.4. So I was at a 3.3 before, then I think I gave it a point for something else, and then I went it to 3.4. And now for combat AIs, the AI is pretty good, so except for maybe the boss is a little off. Hopefully all the other bosses won't be the same, so that's another 0.4. So that's now I'm at a 3.8. And the reload is nice. Actually, I never spoke on the reload and how I like the reload. The factor that it recharges based on, I guess, her ability using telekinesis rather than she have to do pickups all the time. She has to know when to time her weapon, and the game AI knows that it will keep coming after a charger, and then the game puts more enemy obstacles against you, flanking you and stuff. And the charging for the gun, I don't have here. The charging for the gun takes a while, and during that cooldown period, the enemy could still be attacking you. And you have to run and duck for cover and stay behind a certain area, kill an enemy, pick up health, and then run and duck for cover again. Otherwise, you would die because they charge you and they come after you, and they hide as well. And they sometimes spawn in front of you or sometimes behind you. And yeah, so AI is not that bad. It's not great, but it's definitely not terrible. It's pretty decent, pretty okay, pretty good, but not great good or good, but very good to the point that it's functional and works and it's decent. So 1.4, actually 0.4 towards the already 3.4, so 3.8, and I think that's pretty much it for this stream. I can't think of anything else during combat. I realized she takes a lot of damage from enemies, um, which is very much realistic. Rather than some games, you take a lot of shots, take a long time to die, or some games are ridiculous where you take only like 2 or 3 shots and you're dead. Like in Call of Duty, if they cheese mechanics, you get 3 body shots and you're already dead. Or you get 1 direct headshot from someone who has a prestige weapon and you're already dead, you know. I mean, she has psychic abilities. Her taking bullet damage shouldn't be that much. She should be able to deflect some of them. And maybe it'll pop up later on in the game. But for right now, combat is decent. The running, dodging, hiding behind walls. melee using her powers to knock enemies, throwing things. I didn't even mention the throwing mechanic. The throwing mechanics are decent. There's actually no lag on it. You can pick up it continuously, but have to know how much energy cost you're gonna use every time you pick it up. So switching between weapons and using energy costs is essential for survival. So I like that too. In fact, I'll add another point onto that. I like the throwing mechanics. Be able to throw. You have a cooldown period based on how many times you want recharge for that too. Also included into the game. So I like that as well. So now I'm at a 3.9. I like that. I like that thrown into there. Um, I like the fact that the games give you a tutorial on how to do something before you actually do it, just to give you a certain example, so that before you get into mission, you get to do it, and the tutorial isn't painful. It goes you through step processes as you're playing the game. So every time you get to a point where you will need to use it, the game gives you a tutorial prior to you being able to use that thing for that area. So I like that too. That's also I give it a point for that. So now I'm at a 4. So far this game's a 4. Um, Everything's going good. I mean, I like everything. The collectibles all seem to be relevant towards each other. Um, have certain They give you information on enemies after you beat them or when you first meet them, helpful towards you so that as you fight along, you'll be able to see how to deal with them. And you figure out the tactics of how to do damage against them or how to evade them. And that's pretty much it for this video. I can't think of anything else. I think I would have given the game a couple more points, simply because I enjoy the combat and throwing things using the throw mechanics. It's not laggy at all. It doesn't take you forever to do it, to throw it. Actually, I might give it another point for that. It doesn't take forever for you to throw the object, even though it's a cooldown effect. For the time it takes you to throw an object, it's kind of the same time it takes for you to shoot off your weapon or full clip in your weapon. So the very time for you to pick up another item and then throw it directly after you throw one item, you can pick it up as long as you have energy, and that's good. And you quickly switch to your guns and then go back to throwing again. So I give it a full point for that too. So now I'm at a 4.1. The cooldown period, not just for recharging a weapon, but the time it takes for you to switch between weapon and throwing is pretty damn good too. So that's great. That's 4.1 now, and I can't think of anything else. Some creeping media like the kids, um, the one with the little kids, and then there's the floppy disk one. I'm pretty sure every time I get to a certain point, the floppy disk is gonna kind of be get stronger each time and more challenging. And I think the one with the threshold kids might actually have something to do with debts, and I don't know what factor it plays. Um,
You're listening to America
and these music, I don't think they have anything to do with the game whatsoever. I think they're just inclusions inside of the game, but I'm trying to tap on it because the, I think I'll give this game yet another point. When it comes to documents being relevant to each other, I think it does a good job in that. It slowly does reveals, but it does it in a very quiet way. So I'm going to see that.
You're listening to America Overnight, mystifying the airwaves for more than 29 years. Thank you for staying up with us. Ghosts. We've had many callers over the years tell us of hauntings, voices, and other phantasmagorical phenomena. Today, friend of the show, Dr. Quincy Reagan, tells his story. Quincy.
Thanks. This is something I experienced recently while staying at the Chili Pines Motel in Macon for last year's SuspiciaCon. I was in room 47.
Okay, so the tapes, they do have certain type of relevance. It's not just music for music's sake. Some are just music, but many of the music, let me see.
Reminder, if you experience an unanticipated building shift, follow these simple steps. 1. Search the room for any altered items or objects of power. 2. Carry the altered item or object of power to the nearest safe room. 3. Wait for bureau.
Yeah, and tapes, like every single one of these recordings, video media recordings, seem to be relevant towards the overall AWE story. From the objects of power to the floppy disk. I mean, yes, that's obvious within the game, but how the people who make the game put them in the game, and some of them are radar type hints, as in to where certain places, certain things are, as into like this. This may not seem to have relevance, but if you see at the back, it's showing different areas and locations that the characters are at. Maybe it's just random placements. Maybe it's just random placements, or maybe it's just they're actually slow storytelling. Like the essential places that you will need to go. Yeah, and I'm not gonna go through that whole thing, but they all seem to be related to each other. Even the creepy looking kids one at the bottom. Um, would are those places that we'll need to eventually go to? Um, or people who made this video, it could be just nothing. But then in the game, this game, nothing is really just nothing. Those letters aren't really nothing. They're slowly telling the story. The objects of powers and nothing. The floppy disk is nothing. All factors nicely placed under in the collectible section of this, slowly telling the story, but in pieces, letting you figure things out for yourself. So I'm gonna end the video here. I'm gonna ask this woman a couple of questions. The main office, the boardroom office. Well, not office, but the main boardroom. I ask her specific questions.
The hotline should be in the communications department.
I already know the hotlines in the communications department. We'll ask her one question and then we'll get the hell out of here. And then each time, maybe, you know what, we'll just ask her one question. Is it about this hiss of the oldest house, Trench? Don't really need to know about him. Don't need to know about objects of power. Resonance amplifiers. Um, HRAs. Do I really need to know about why they created it, how it came about? Not really that much. That's not. I'm more interested in the origins of hiss.
Where did the hiss come from?
I'm not sure. You said the hiss was here when you entered. Did you see anything like that outside before you came in?
No. No, just inside.
The source is internal then. See, the oldest house is a sprawling complex with openings to other places as well. I don't even know where to start looking. But in the context, it's good news. The lockdown holds. The hiss escaping the building would be the end. Pretty shitty world out there if you ask me, but I wouldn't want the hiss to destroy it.
With you on that, Emily.
Well, she's right. The world was pretty shitty, but there are a lot of good people in the world. If the world's completely comprised of nothing but evil people, and we knew from having the abilities of telekinesis. Well, not really telekinesis. Wrong words to be used there. Something more detailed, but more on hearing whispers or sounds within the minds of others without actually going into the depth of invading someone's head. Like if we could hear what they're saying out loud without them saying it, or where everyone was given the power to actually hear what other people are thinking. Um, I think a lot of people would actually find a way to make devices to lock that off. And because they find devices to lock that off, yeah, the world would probably been a long time ago before those devices are made, because it basically terminates certain things, specifically life itself. People just end each other, and thank goodness there are good people in this world. At least some good people in this world, because without them, the imbalance of how things look, chairs, tables, colors, organizations, who's in control, who's not in control, anything under the word civilization or civil would have been out the door a long time ago. And the hiss would have, people would have actually welcomed the hiss rather than try to make sure the hiss doesn't exist. In fact, they'll welcome this to say, hey, you know what? Terminate everything. This world is full of majority of nothing but evil shit, or everyone's an evil shit. Let's rinse and repeat. So, moving on from that, she don't seem to know much about the hiss, other than outside world seem to be unaffected, but in here everything seems to, they just pop in here out of nowhere, because this place is paranormal related, and like anything that's paranormal related, it's kind of like a door, but if there's no power here, everything outside is completely unaffected. It's impossible for the hiss to get outside because there's no channel to get outside, or no way to get outside. I don't know. It's kind of like you can't jump. I mean, you could jump off an object and land on the ground, but you can't jump from the ground to land on the object that you jump off. Um, if the height is too great. So based on this, the height is probably not great at all. It's very selective to this area, and it can't go beyond a certain point, because jumping upwards is much harder than jumping off something, and the height is probably much more vast outside, even if it's filament fiber type um, door between one and the other. The requirements to actually invade the world outside might be far greater than actually a physical thing that you could actually see. So that's kind of helpful, but not that helpful. Maybe I know about the oldest house. Um, Director Trench know about Analytics of Power. But maybe, okay, just one more.
You mentioned the oldest house. What is it?
This building, the Bureau headquarters, the oldest house, is a shifting place. You've seen it. It transcends its physical limits.
I've been to New York a few times. How didn't I notice this place?
It's an attribute of the building. This is a place of power. The oldest house doesn't like attention, so unless you're purposely trying to find it, you don't, which is perfect for us. The work we do here is essential, but unstable. The Bureau prefers not to be noticed. And we need strong walls to make sure nothing gets out.
So without you, I never would have found the front door. Okay.
Wait, so this is the part that doesn't make sense. So someone could walk in New York City in some random place, and they could find this place um, if they just idly walk by. If you're just walking around not looking for anything, you could find this place. But if you're actually trying to find the place, you will never find it, because not only does no one divulge directions on how to get this place and how you can find this place, because it's so secretive, it's also built in a certain way at a certain location. It will be virtually impossible for anyone to find it, even in a city where there are tons of people. So I'm assuming if this is built in an area in a city that is undesirable to be found by anyone that actually is interested in this area. It's probably not a real bad neighborhood or a really great neighborhood. There are probably not any attractions or anything around. Um, Let me see what she says again.
You mentioned the oldest house. What is it?
This building, the Bureau headquarters, the oldest house, is a shifting place. You've seen it. It transcends its physical limits.
I've been to New York a few times. How didn't I notice this place?
It's an attribute of the building. This is a place of power. The oldest house doesn't like attention, so unless you're purposely trying to find it, you don't, which is perfect for us. The work we do here is essential, but unstable. The Bureau prefers not to be noticed. And we need strong walls to make sure nothing gets out.
So without you, I never would have found the front door.
Okay.
Okay, so it shifts. I wonder if it shifts on the outside as well. I doubt that someone would see it. But maybe its resonant powers, its amplifying powers, has an effect on people for um, closest to the building, that they wouldn't dare to turn around or even to look in the direction while it's shifting. Put them in a subconscious type of sleep without them even knowing, while it's shifted on the outside, so that if anyone does come looking for the place, it looks completely different to someone come looking to the place, and they might actually walk right by, because it shifts when someone actually is trying to find it. Um, but if it does affect people subconsciously, then that gives his certain type of means to leave this area. So I would assume that the hiss does have the capabilities to leave, but probably not beyond the era of actually taking physical um, corruption onto the people outside, because it's not that strong enough um, for body snatcher type behavior, or you know, you can't take over the host because it's not that powerful. But I guess they can control to a subconscious level, but just not taking over. Just like the house can probably control to a certain level, but it's not taking over. If it shifts on the outside, I'm just assuming shifts on the outside, or maybe it's the house is just built in a certain way that it looks on the outside undesirable, um, and in a place that's undesirable. I don't know. All I know is shifts on the inside. I don't know what the hell happens on the outside. But it is interesting to a certain degree why no one could find it. If you're actually looking for a place, you cannot find it. But if you're not looking for the place, you stumble onto it. So it really has something to do with your mind focusing, um, looking, desiring for something. And I guess if you focus more on something, desire and determination, that is more of an active um, ability, rather as just farting around and walking, minding your business. Yeah, so that's very interesting. But that's it for this video.
Thanks, Emily.
I've learned a little
I'm
bit
sure I'll have
about
more
what
questions
I
soon.
have to do to proceed
Just let me
forward,
know.
but I have learned about a little bit more about the story as a whole, from the beginning, rather than her just starting out trying to find her information about what happened to her brother. And I got an idea about the house, the oldest house, about those who work inside of it, about the corruption type, about the afterplane or the world outside, about possible corruption, and about the notes leading to each other, having some relevance towards how things might play out, and about her possibly dying towards the end or in the middle of the game, or that that might actually be the only thing that's theoretical. Um, no such as shark invade permissions and folklore, urban legends. These have all led to progression throughout the story and has meaning to a degree. Other stuff really, like some of the Dead Letter stuff, don't. But some of them probably will play out later on. We'll see. So that's it for this stream. I was left off at a 4.1, then I went up to a 4.2. So now I'm at a 4.2 overall, and if it keeps going up, I'm going to probably give this game either an 8 or a 9. I mean, if I find it to be completely fascinating, it will be a 10, but I hardly could see this game being a 10. It would have to be something that extremely satisfying to make this game a 10. Um, so far, this game is good. Maybe it'll get better, but it seems to rise and then fall off in certain things. And if something rise and fall off in certain things, or rise and fall off in certain things, this might end up being a 9 or an 8. Right now, I got it at a 4.2, and I'm gonna keep it there, and we'll see what happens after.